those politicians, those rich people are the ones doing it. I imagine that this is more of the outcome of the system we have created, and it is not done by anyone intentionally. Do you believe that to be true?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. 100%. I don't think that there's some evil doer overseeing all of this at all. I think this is just, I mean, look, this is just basic economics. This is how, it's nothing sinister. And actually, and I mentioned, it's worked. You know, this is the only way we know how to lift economies out of people and economies out of intense deprivation. You know, it's saved hundreds of millions of lives. There is nothing evil going on here. Growth is a very good thing. Mm-hmm. It's an incredibly good thing. The problem is economies reach a point at some level where the impact of more growth on people's well-being begins to decline and wane, and we're in that point now. The more growth we get, the more problems that actually begin to crop up. And you see things like life expectancy fall in the US right now. This is happening. Mm-hmm. You see social mobility decline. You see happiness wane. You see mental health problems spike. And I think it's countries in this, once they've drawn themselves out of scarcity, right, into an area of abundance. The issue is now not growth. The issue is how you get the proceeds of that growth to the people. And that is an issue of distribution rather than a problem of growth. And I think that is where we are right now in the West. And what we're doing instead is we're continuing to try to eke out more and more growth out of already maxed out economies, which is having an impact not just on, by the way, you know, debt. If you look at the amounts of debt, it's crazy. Right. You lurch from one debt crisis to another. We could be entering another soon. You've got issues around planetary limits too, like the over exploitation of fossil fuels to generate this growth, which is having an impact on the environment as we see all around us, but also people. Right. The more you try to squeeze people relentlessly, the more that's going to impact on them. And so I just think in rich developed countries, our problem is not necessarily a growth problem, it's a distribution problem. That's not to say we shouldn't focus on growth. We should. But but we also need to work out how we make sure that the abundance that we have managed to accrue is shared.
Shared within the country or shared globally?
Shared within, well, yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't want to go too far down.
No, you're right. Yeah. It's an absolutely adequate question. My position is we need to be, the countries right now that are in the developing world need to be encouraged and given the tools to grow. And there should be no limits on that growth because that's so important. Countries in the developed world that have reached a period of abundance, well, within those countries, we need to figure out how we can, how we're able to distribute the proceeds of that growth more evenly. Because I think that will solve a lot of the problems that we're seeing. And also, figure out how to prioritize growth in areas that need to grow, like green technologies and all the rest of it, and AI and all of these things that can make our lives manifestly better by doing all the drudgery of work and giving us more time to do other things that we would enjoy, right? So those things absolutely need to grow. But then there are other things that are very polluting or that are predatory that perhaps we might say, well, these sectors may have to degrow or whatever. So there's a kind of a balance that needs to be struck. But we're not, I suppose what I'm saying, we're not thinking about that. We're just thinking about how we can grow. And I think that has knock-on impacts. And one of them is perfectionism, but there are all sorts of others.
Well, and if you're listening going, man, we've come some way from perfectionism.